In today's episode, I'm talking about how to navigate the obstacles and challenges on your journey by using faith as your fuel.
Hello, and welcome to the Beautiful Reflections podcast. I'm your host, Katherine Johnson, a certified professional coach, mentor, writer, and speaker. I help professional women gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to pursue their bigger purpose and vision so that they can have fulfillment and thrive in their careers. I believe there is beauty in our voices, beauty in our stories, and beauty in our journeys. There is power in community, connection, and deep, meaningful conversation, which is why me and my guests are here to share our stories, experiences, lessons, and learning to inspire you as you walk the path and step into your next level. We go deep, sharing beautiful reflections of what this personal growth journey looks like in real, living color. This journey of pursuing our purpose and vision as we continue to evolve. It is my mission to empower you to believe in your power, to embrace your own uniqueness, and to be the best version of you. I want to see you thrive purposefully. Now on to the episode for today.
Hello, and welcome to the Beautiful Reflections podcast. I'm your host, Katherine Johnson. Today we're talking about how do we navigate the obstacles and challenges that appear on our journey. Today's episode is all about faith. Now, I believe it is the thing you need most as you look to level up in your career, in your life, and really step into your bigger purpose and vision. So ponder this with me for a moment. Now, I'm not talking about 2020 or 2021, but typically we take flights all around the world. We give our trust to the pilots who obviously have been trained and qualified to drive the airplanes. Once we're up in the sky, all we see are clouds. We can't tell if we're going north, east, south, or west, oftentimes for hours and hours and hours at a time. We may even hit some turbulence, which we know is par for the course, as the airplane navigates through different elements and changes in elevation and all that good stuff. Similarly, we take cruises to foreign places. We get on these massive ships built with tons of steel. We trust in this architecture and design. We believe that this ship is not going to sink. We trust the captain's ability to steer us where we want to go. You know, most of us looking to go to paradise, right? A warm tropical island, beaches of white sand, pure bliss. Think for a moment about this. In these scenarios, how we have this faith, this belief. Well, when it comes to stepping into our bigger purpose and vision and what we truly desire for our lives, we must have the same level of unquestioning faith. We have to believe in the gifts and talents we've been given, believe in the purpose that God has given us, and believe that despite what we see in front of us, we are steadily moving towards the vision. Now, would you get frustrated from seeing clouds in the sky and not seeing land and decide, enough of this, I'm out of here, I'm done? When you hit a little turbulence and the pilot assures the crew, it's just a little turbulence, we'll be through it in a few minutes, stay calm, everyone. Or would you listen to the person in the seat next to you who is convinced that getting on the airplane for their first time was a stupid idea, and as a result, they're going to die? Would you try to abandon ship and jump overboard, quitting and giving up on you and your life? No, you wouldn't. Your faith would override any fears that you have in these moments, and you would cling tightly to that belief, even if it was difficult. In the same way, we have to let our faith keep us moving, despite the obstacles and challenges along the way. Even when the ride gets bumpy, we can't clearly see our progress, or we don't see the results. Or maybe everything just seems to be moving slower than what we expect. Even when other people around us aren't really on board with what we're doing or what we've decided to do. We may not be getting the praise and the accolades that we think we deserve. We still have to be relentless in our purpose, with unwavering faith in our calling, who we are, and what God has placed inside of us as a gift for others. Now, let me tell you, this entrepreneurship journey is like a roller coaster ride. Every single day, I'm exercising faith and using it as fuel to move me forward. Someone told me that business, it's more about you than it is about business. And I really couldn't wrap my mind around this until I started down this path. And I did what I've always done. I took some classes, got certified, gained some experience, yet I did all of those things and I still felt unqualified. I really questioned if I knew enough and how in the world I could ever charge someone for my services, what I knew and my knowledge. Then, of course, all my insecurities showed up. My lack of confidence just came knocking at my door. And it sounded like, I'm not good enough for this. I don't think I know enough. But this is where the real work begins and business really becomes about you. Just like someone once told me, because if you are not solid in your gifts and talents, who you are, and the greater purpose behind what you're doing, then you won't be able to move forward with the necessary ease and confidence that you need to really pursue this bigger purpose and vision. I really had to strengthen my belief in myself. I had to get secure in my purpose, knowing that this is what I was called to do, and I had to strengthen my faith. Now, how do we use faith as fuel? How do we let it propel our efforts? First, we have to understand that the obstacles and challenges are just that. What do they represent? What do they really represent? It's not an indication to exit or to quit or to give up, but they're moments that are part of every journey for everybody. And they serve as merely tests of our faith, really asking us, how much do you really believe? How big is your commitment? How willing are you to stay the course? Secondly, we have to choose how we view the obstacles and challenges, choosing to see the obstacles and challenges as opportunities and get really curious, asking, what could this teach me? What do I need to see? What is trying to be revealed to me right now? Oftentimes, the things that show up on our journey are so very necessary for our growth. There's something that we need to see or something that we need to learn that's instrumental for where we are in that moment. Lastly, we have to let the obstacles and challenges inspire our action instead of causing us to lose sight of our vision. Because we're facing them, we're likely headed in the right direction. Nothing is easy, right? Now we get to decide how we're going to move through what's being presented and use it to strengthen our character and prepare us for the journey up ahead. I invite you to use these 3 questions to really strengthen your faith. As always, I like to give you ways to really apply what you're learning. It's nice to listen to another podcast, but it's more important that you take the time to apply the knowledge. Otherwise, it's just information. So take it a bit further. Spend some time in self-reflection and take it a little further and ask yourself one of these 5 questions. What is the one thing or area in which I am currently being challenged? How am I looking at the situation? What am I really thinking about it? How would it look to exercise unwavering faith in this area? And from this empowered perspective, what's one step I could take to move me forward? Remember, there is always beauty in our journeys, and it's all about learning to use faith as your fuel, because it truly is the thing that you're going to need to propel you forward and keep you moving towards your greater purpose and your greater vision. So you may be thinking, okay, Katherine, put this into context for me. Give me some more perspective. What has faith looked like on your journey? What does it really entail? And what have you done? And for me, it's looked like showing up, even when I don't see the expected results. For me, it's looked like really believing that I'm doing great work, that I matter, that my work matters. For me, faith has really looked like taking the action. Despite everything I see in front of me, despite everything I don't see in front of me, it's really been about just putting one foot in front of the other, keeping the faith and using that as fuel to continue to move me forward. Nothing in life is really easy, right? It's all a journey. And we have to really believe that and trust ourselves and know that we're on the right path and it's ultimately leading us to where we want to get to. Now, we all have bigger goals. We all have bigger purpose and we all have bigger vision. I know I do. And I know that it's a journey. And I know that I'm on the path. And I know that eventually I will get there. But I can't lose my faith. I have to strengthen my faith. And just like in those examples I shared about the airplanes and being up in the sky and just seeing clouds, and about sailing on the ship in the ocean and just seeing water and not seeing land, but you still having a belief and a faith in the destination and where you're going. It's the same thing. We have to apply that in our lives, in our situations, in our experiences, in our challenges, in what we're going through. And that is the key. That is what it means to really use faith as your fuel. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I'd love to hear from you. Be sure to connect with me on Instagram at Katherine N Johnson and on LinkedIn at Katherine N Johnson. I'd love to hear your takeaways, your learnings, your lessons, and how the podcast is supporting you. If you're on Instagram, be sure to use the hashtag Beautiful Reflections Podcast and share with me what you're learning, how it's impacting you, how it's supporting your life. Be sure to leave a rating, a review, or a comment, and let us know what you think about the podcast. Also, share it with another woman in your life who could really use the inspiration and who could use the empowerment. Until next time.